Jaylen Brown's done it all to Pascal Siakam. The wedgies, the swirlies, the stuffing in the locker. Now it's the right to left, overhand, crossover, and semi-transition that dusts him. Help's got to come crashing. Spacing was great in this entire series. This play is no exception. And then they're like pinging these passes around. They're whipping them to each other. They're all in the shooting pocket. Ends up with a wide open three. Beautiful basketball.
Let's kick it off with Eastern Conference Finals Game 1, and what could be a more underrated advantage than your two guards screening for each other while the floor is spaced with wings and an elite shooting center. Nembhard switches onto D. White and bang, it's go time for Derek, who collapses the defense. Miles Turner has to help here. No one rotates to Horford, and it's an easy trade for Big Al.
Yeah, and it's objective one when you're playing Indiana. Get Tyrese Halliburton into the action, and guard pick and rolls are definitely a way to do that. Two things I really like about this. Look at how spaced Tatum is. He's basically at half court, so Nesmith was almost face guarding him the entire series. This makes Nesmith make a decision. Do I come down to help, or do I finally leave Jason Tatum? And Miles Turner completely ignoring Al Horford. He's just standing at the free throw line to help on the drive. Al is wide open. You know the big dog's burying it.
Yeah, and this is the superpower of the Celtics. Everyone is a threat. So where do you hide your weaker defenders? I guess you hide them on Drew Holiday and Derek White. You have your best defenders in Nesmith and Siakam on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Get Drew Holiday and Derek White in their screening actions, which they're excellent at. Force the help from Turner. And this is in the clutch, by the way. You have your two superstars that are willing to space the court to find the best shot.
Game 2, we love beautiful fast break style transition basketball. We also love beautiful ball movement as part of a healthy half-court offense. So why not combine the two? Jaylen Brown with a freaking nasty crossover here, then one power dribble and elevates to the rim, drawing the full attention of all five Pacer defenders. Hauser and Drew both giving up a good shot in order to find a great shot, and that's exactly what Derek White gets here.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown's done it all to Pascal Siakam. The wedgies, the swirlies, the stuffing in the locker. Now it's the right to left, overhand, crossover, and semi-transition that dusts him. Help's got to come crashing. Spacing was great in this entire series. This play is no exception. And then they're like pinging these passes around. They're whipping them to each other. They're all in the shooting pocket. Ends up with a wide open three. Beautiful basketball.
Yeah, JB just sauces Siakam in transition, and then he hangs in the air under the basket looking like MJ, double clutch. Fires it to Semi, used to be Buckets, Hauser, who smartly swings it to Drew, who swings it to Hot Hands for three.
Sticking with Game 2 here, where one of the more interesting takeaways was the Oshae Brissett insertion and the defense he played in Luke Cornett's absence.
Yeah, so Indy's just really awesome, fun little offense, and they start with a Ben Shepherd rush screen for Toppin, and the Celtics do a really good job. Pritchard and White switch it beautifully, eventually gets swung to McConnell, who dribbles all the way to the opposite corner and sets a screen for Siakam. The Celtics switch that beautifully too, and the whole time, Brissett is just completely battling with Miles Turner, who is trying to use his size and get an open post-up opportunity. Doesn't happen. The play gets blown up. JB's a little late to get back out onto McConnell after the kick out, but he gets there in time. It's a steal. We're going the other way.
Yeah, JB ends up being a little bit late, but I think part of that is he's willing to sag low on TJ McConnell. Maybe loses him a little bit, but then JB just picks this thing off like Ed Reed. Just physicality, goes straight through TJ McConnell back the other way for two.
More Oshae Brissett. He catches the Indy defense kind of napping here. Miles Turner just has no interest in Brissy as JB attacks the basket and makes a timely cut. And I think Jaylen was pretty happy to see him there while he was just hanging there in the air waiting for someone to cut.
Jaylen knew the whole time, Ben. Right? But so JB, he's been unstoppable in semi-transition when the defense isn't set. And are you kidding me? Tyrese Halliburton is checking him? What is going on here? He just sees a 5-course meal, gets immediately downhill. Great spacing by Pritchard to get deep into the corner to keep that driving lane open. And Brissett is just reading Miles Turner this entire time. The second he sees him commit, he's hitting the cut, flashes middle, easy dunk.
Yeah, Halliburton sees JB coming at him in transition. He kind of wipes his nose like he's getting prepared to fight someone that he knows he shouldn't be fighting. And JB just goes straight through him. And Brissett, instead of spacing to the corner where he could have taken a catch and shoot three, he does what Brissett does best and finds these little cuts under the rim. Easy dunk.
We also have to point out possibly the happiest looking fan of all time. celebrating this play.
He is all of us.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Game 3, the series shifts to Indiana, where Drew Holiday played some of the best perimeter defense you've ever seen in your life.
Indy's on the side out of bounds here. Nice little play. This is a slash action where you hit a pick and pop, pass it to the popping guy, and then he runs a weak side DHO or pick and roll. And it really just goes nowhere. Drew Holiday's this first screen blows it completely up. Then they go into the Siakam, Nesmith pick and roll. JB's all over that one. Nesmith has nowhere to go. Ends up getting back into a pick and roll with Siakam. He's got to force like this goofy above the break three. And Jaylen, just a gentle little contest on Siakam above the break. Like, we don't need to overreact. Let's just kind of get out there and bother him a little bit.
Yeah, Drew just reminded me of like an apex predator in the Amazon here, just from the beginning. He's like bouncing around, trying to get the inbounds pass. He like sags off, kind of like stalking his prey. I have no idea if that's exactly how apex predators behave, but that's what it reminded me of. And then he does my favorite Drew thing ever. He shoots the gap between the screener and the ball handler, and Nembhard crashes into the Great Wall of Holiday, and the ball handlers always end up just like bouncing back multiple feet as they crash into his beautifully sculpted physique. Swing it to Naismith. Jaylen contains, and then Al and Jaylen just seamlessly contain like the last little action. Yeah, and you end up with a Siakam above the break three. That's just textbook defense for the Celtics.
Game 4, Pacers attacking in transition here. Could be problematic. This is where they're really dangerous, but the Celtics, everyone picks up their man here. And Horford kind of peels off Isaiah Jackson so he can lock down the paint, but India's so quick to get into this little pitch out to Andrew Nembhard, screaming downhill. But Peyton Pritchard, man, so quick to react and cut off the dribble. We somehow give up the offensive board, which leads to Pascal Siakam posting up D White. Not a great matchup for Boston, but Al comes over with the perfectly timed double. Derek can peel off to Isaiah Jackson. It's beautiful.
Dude, I love Indy's little pitch back action. We should definitely steal that stuff that they do in semi-transition, because even if it doesn't work, you often just concede a really easy switch. But the Celtics make sure not to do that here. It's a great job navigating it by Tatum and Pritchard. And Pritchard does a really good job. They got to bail him out and get that rebound. They pull it back out. It's Siakam, Derek White post up, which Siakam had a ton of success with, but it's mind bullets. Al, White. Al comes over to double. Derek bounces out. The second Al gets there. Then Al's on Siakam, and then it just goes absolutely nowhere. And Derek White, he's almost playing safety. He's just ignoring Isaiah Jackson during that post up. He can help on the drive if it happens, and he's in the passing lane, which he does get his hands on the ball here.
This is just so well executed from across the board. Tatum with a great contain on top end. Pritchard takes the chicken wing from Nembhard, which he didn't get called for once the entire series. Nembhard actually misses the step back mid-range jumper, which this is the first time I'm realizing he actually missed a shot in the series. And then, yeah, unlucky rebound. Horford just like, this is the mind meld of the Celtics defense. He comes over, notices Derek White's in trouble. Kind of a soft double. Derek White kind of has a quick look to his right to see if Horford's man's there. So he like instinctively knows to stick his left hand out, like if a pass goes the other way because there's no man on his right. Like, you can only execute this stuff if everybody's like on a string and you have elite defensive personnel.